Hi, and welcome to this What's New session for B1 Usability Package. This is for version 2020.12. So let's jump into what's new in this feature. And there's not much because this is a small release. We are end of year and we tend to only do very small quality of life and bug fixes in these releases as we don't want to disturb you too much with brand new features. So special is that this release is the last planned release of 2020. So the next release will be in February 2021, as always. And it's also the last planned release to support SAP Business One 9.2. 6 months ago, we announced that we were going to switch from next year to 9.3. So that will be the minimum required version next year. But for now, nothing has changed. It's just so you are aware of these changes. There's only a few small quality of life features, like for example the debug console, who can show your SQL when it's being executed, so you can figure out what might be wrong in it. It will now also show that SQL that is executed using UI API scripts. So before you simply couldn't see those SQLs. Now you can. On MS SQL side, we have a new feature for the B1 dashboards. So in the past, and also now as default, the timeout, if you had a very big dashboard and it took longer than 30 seconds to be rendered and gathering all its data, it would actually time out for you. And there was no option to really control that. There is now, and it's only for MS SQL. On HANA, there's no timeout, and on the web dashboard, it's not something you can control. There will still be the normal timeout. But for the regular MS SQL system, you can actually go in. There's a column in the dashboard editor where you can say, okay, instead of 30 seconds, I will give it 60 seconds. Of course, you should always try to make your dashboards as optimal as possible. But for the few that have these very, very big dashboards, this is now an ability. Another very asked for ability is in printer delivery, where we now have the option to use the account balance keywords in the report action email. So there's the keywords like from and to and age by and brands and so on, and they're now all available inside the report action, just like any of the other keywords that you know. So they can just be used, and if you want to include that, for example, this is your account balance in this period. So possible to do now. Another little quality of life feature is an item placement tool where we have the block sidebar. It has better compatibility now, for example, because if you both had the block sidebar for item placement tool and you had toolbox start and name, the block sidebar would actually stop start and name from working correctly. They now can work side by side. And we also fixed a few bugs in it where you could actually circumvent the block sidebar in certain scenarios on newer versions of Business One. They are now blocked. And finally, just a small update for Norway. We have the newest zip codes in there based on the latest from the government. And that's what is there so far. Preview, as always, is out now on the regular download link. And if all goes as planned, then the final release of this month and again this year will be out on the 8th of December 2020. So with that, thank you for attending. Hope it was beneficial.